Greetings, Willow here once again. And you may have noticed I changed the name of my channel to Willowlemechant Divine Magic, mainly because I have started to do more tutorials and showing you how to work your own personal magic. Now, that does not mean that I still don't just manifest what I need, or I can teach you how to manifest what you need. It just means that there's more to life than just manifesting, and sometimes you might want to add a little help, and so you might want to make some of your own spiritual items or spiritual tools. So today we are going to be making money oil. This is an herbal infused money oil. It does not have any essential oil in it. It is simply herbs, intention, and a little magic. So that is what I'm going to be talking about and how to show you how to make this today. And to get started, first off, what do you need? You're going to need a jar. Now, these are 4-ounce jars. I purchased a dozen of these on Amazon for less than $20. They also came with their own stickers, so I can label each jar. I've also purchased some stickers so that I can just have them ready to go, which is going to be a little bit easier for me, and I got those at Vistaprint. But you don't have to purchase your bottles. You might want to recycle a honey jar or a small jam jar. Now, just remember, I think this one is 8 ounces. Okay, so it's bigger. But however large of a jar you make, you're going to be filling it with 1/3 of your herbs. The rest is the carrier oil. And so I'm using grapeseed oil. I have organic grapeseed oil as my carrier oil. I have made 3 4-ounce bottles out of this so far. I have enough for one more 4-ounce bottle. But just remember, it's going to take a lot more. It'll take half of your bottle to fill this jar. So you do it accordingly to what you want, okay, and how much oil you need to make. So what else are we going to need? We're going to need our herbs, and I'm just going to start tilting you down to see things. So I have my herbs all set out here. We have a plate of different herbs, and I want to talk about the bay leaves in a second here. But we have cloves, I have chamomile, basil, cinnamon, sage, bay leaves, allspice. So we have some different herbs here that we're going to be putting into our oil. Now, to get started though, what's the first thing you want to do? And that would be to purify or cleanse, smudge the things you're going to be using. So the one thing that I always am going to smudge would be the jar. And I'm going to use this jar. It is a recycled jam jar. It has been washed. And I am now going to add some sage here onto my charcoal. I have some loose sage. We're going to get some smoke, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. All right, so I'm just going to take my jar and I'm going to let the smoke fill the jar, and this is purifying it. And I'm asking the divine to clear and protect us and clear all negative energies that could be associated with this jar. And now we have a cleansed jar. Now I'm also going to do that though with the lid. Now the thing is, if you recycle jars, and that's fine, I ask for purification of this lid. Thank you. But if you use a recycled jar, you have to make sure that they are a screw-on type lid. You do not want to use a cork type bottle. They're pretty, they're just not functional for this. This oil needs to be able to be shaken, and chances are, and I probably need to put this out a little bit, but chances are you would not want to shake that cork bottle and have that cork pop out. So it is important to have a screw type lid, okay? So as you can see, this one's got lots of herbs and things in it. It also has citrine. And I'm gonna go over each of the items that we're gonna put in it and how we're going to do this, okay? So first off, now we have a cleansed jar. Now, when choosing your stone, and I have to emphasize this, your stone is going to be very important if you want to use a stone or crystal in your jar. Make sure that it is a hard enough crystal that it will not leach out damaging toxins into your oil, especially if you're going to be using this oil to anoint yourself. You don't want to be rubbing asbestos on you from tiger's eye or mercury from other stones like tourmaline. So just be cautious. The rule of thumb is if it ends like amethyst or any of the quartz type things, you're okay. So I use citrine, I use amethyst, I use a clear quartz that maybe I've charged with Reiki. Those are the simplest ones you can use that are safe, but do your research. Just make sure it is a hard stone that doesn't leach out toxic chemicals into your oil, okay? So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to put our herbs in the jar first, okay? So to make this, these are the herbs that I have chosen. I have a whole list, and I'll go over that list with you in a moment, of the herbs you can choose to make the different types of oils you might want to make. So the first thing I'm going to put in here is I'm going to put in my basil. Now, I grew, and I'm just going to put this down so you can see better. You're not going to see my face. You're going to see the herbs and things, okay? So this is basil that I grew from my garden. Make sure that your herbs are dried. Now, rule of thumb for me is I use the numbers of 3. So I am going to pull off 3 clumps of leaves. 1, 2, 3. So now I have 3 clumps of basil leaves in here. Now, I'm going to ask for blessings because I should have done it before I put it in the jar. I'm going to ask for this basil to release its energies into the jar. Just a simple blessing. You can say it however you want. This would be how I would do it. I ask this basil to please bless this oil with the energies to attract money and help it flow into the lives of whoever uses this oil to anoint themselves or any objects. Thank you. And I'm going to do that now with my sage. Now the sage, you can use any kind of dried sage. I like to use the leaves rather than the ground up sage, just because you're going to have to filter and sift out all of the herbs before putting it into a small bottle when we're done with making the oil and it's infused long enough. So I like to use leaves of dried sage. Now I just pulled apart some from a sage wand I had, but you could use whole leaf sage that you have. If you have it from your garden, you just dry it first before using it. So I'm going to put in 3 leaves of the sage, but I'm going to ask for the sage first to bless it. I ask the sage to release its energy into this oil and bless it with the energies of being pure in conscience to bring in the money that we need. Thank you. Now, I'm going on to the allspice, and I'm going to choose, I like to choose the biggest allspice. Now remember, I work in numbers of 3, so I'm choosing the number of 9 for my allspice. I love allspice. It has really good energy. So I'm going to ask this allspice to please release your energies to attract the money flow into whoever life uses this oil. Thank you for your energy. And we put those in. Now, you might want to know why I have so many bay leaves out here. Well, like we already have our charcoal going, right? Well, I like to also do a little spell work while I am making my oil. So I'm going to take a bay leaf and I am going to write on this bay leaf. Let's see if this is a hard surface. I'm going to make money signs on this bay leaf. And I'm going to do it 9 times. 3 times 3. Now, first off, when you burn bay, it has a wonderful scent. But this is a very quick and easy magical ritual, little spell you can do anytime you want to manifest something. So we're manifesting oil into, or manifesting money into this oil. So I'm going to burn this bay leaf here and let it smoke. And why not just put the jar over that, let some of that smoke go in there to do that too. So now I have started that little magical spell too. Not to mention bay, when you burn it, is a wonderful smell. It's very uplifting. And now I'm going to take 3 bay leaves. 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to do the same thing, and we're going to ask for the bay to give us its energy. We thank you, bay, for adding your energy into our money oil, that whoever uses this will find success in the way they bring their money in. So mote it be, and we'll put that in the jar. Okay. Now, the next thing, and I use this in a lot of my oils and rituals, and that is cinnamon. I have 3 pieces here. It was a very long stick. It won't fit in the jar, so I broke it into 3 once again. And we're going to ask the cinnamon to release its energy. Cinnamon, we ask that you release your energy to bring in money quickly into whoever's life uses this oil for themselves or to anoint objects. So mote it be, and it is so. So now we have that in there, okay? The next thing is I have this little container here of cloves. Now, these are whole cloves. Love the smell. Oh, I just love the smell. Now, I always use the numbers of 3, correct? So I'm going to use 3 pinches of cloves. So let's just take the 3 pinches. 1, 2, 3. And now we are going to ask for the cloves to release its energy. We ask the cloves for your blessing and to release your energy into this oil so that it attracts the money that we need. Whoever uses this oil, so mote it be. It is so. Now the next thing we have here is chamomile. Now, when you look at chamomile, it is very big and fluffy. So 3 pinches of this can give you a lot of chamomile. And when I bought a pound of chamomile, I really had no idea how much chamomile that was going to be. And it's a lot. I have a huge bag of chamomile because it's very lightweight, so it takes a lot. But it had a lot of huge heads of the chamomile in it. So I'm going to do 3 into my hand. 1, 2, 3. And I'm dropping some. So pick those up. And notice how much we have of the chamomile. We ask that this chamomile release its energies to help bring in money, to help us attract the success and the money that we need to whoever uses this oil. So mote it be. And I'm going to put that in the jar. Now, rule of thumb is like 1/3 of your jar, and we're already a little bit over that. I think it has to do, though, with the bay leaves not really pushing that down very well. So the next thing you want to do is ask for the assistance of your stone or crystal, whatever you're going to be putting in here. Now, I chose the citrine. Citrine is really good for money, success, and business. So I'm going to use a citrine. I put a citrine in the oil that I've already made, and I'm going to put this citrine in this one. The reason we put the citrine in last is because we don't want our jar to break. If we just drop the stone in as the first thing, it could possibly crack your jar. So we're just using it as a safety precaution to put it in last. But this has been purified, but I'm going to do this a little bit more. I think, let's just get a little bit more sage going here. So we're just going to do a quick cleansing of the stone. Make sure, you know, when you purchase your stones, you're purchasing them from a store or online. You don't know who has touched them and what energies could have been absorbed. So I always like to clear my crystals and my stones. So we ask for the blessings of this citrine to bring in money and success through business or whatever ventures we do. We ask for the blessings of this stone to fulfill us and help this oil to be charged with attracting money. So now we have all of our herbs and our stone in here. So I am now going to take my carrier oil, which is organic grapeseed. Now the reason I use organic grapeseed is, one, it doesn't have a heavy smell at all. Actually, like no smell. So it's very good for your skin as well. So if you're going to be putting it on yourself at all, that's fine. It's not going to hurt you. But I like to use organic because who needs to have any kinds of chemicals in your carrier oil? It's going on our skin probably, so we don't want it to be bad. So I use organic. So I'm going to put this in. And I'm going to open my other jar because it's not quite enough. So I always have extra on hand. And I'm just going to top it off just a little bit more. I want enough room though that when I do shake the jar that it will still be able to move everything around. So we got this. If I can close it properly so nothing gets spilled would be great. Okay. So now we have our carrier oil in it. I am going to go ahead now and I'm going to close it up tight. Okay. Now, I'm also going to do a final blessing on the oil, the jar, and everything. We call to the divine source. We call to the all that is. We ask for your blessings on this oil to allow us to bring in more money and success into the lives of whoever uses this oil. We ask that you charge it with your blessings, so mote it be. So now, once you have your jar of oil, you're going to shake it. We want to bring money in. So we want this money to come in fast. So you can shake it fast. We don't need to sit around waiting for it, right? We want it to come in fast. So we're going to shake this oil for a few minutes. We're going to think about the intention to bring in money and success, because that's really what the money is all for too. So you can do it like this. You can do it like this, but I like to just shake it up real good. It's going to get everything going. Now, when we are done with the oil, we thank the energies, and we are now going to take this jar, and I like to set it in a sunny window for 1 day. Now, I also make my oils on the new moon so that they are ready in about 6 to 8 weeks. Now, that's several moon cycles, as you can figure out, right? So this oil won't be ready until after the new year. But that's why I started some earlier on my last new moon. So we got that going. But these will not be ready for at least 6 to 8 weeks. And each day you are going to go to this oil and talk to it with your intention and give it a good shake. We want to keep it going. But we're going to put it in the sunny window to warm it up, to get that energy going. Anytime you heat up herbs, it helps them release their energies into whatever you're using it for. So we're going to put it in a sunny window first for 1 day, and then we're going to take it off and we're going to put it, you can put it on an altar. I have mine because I do work with the Voodoo Loa, and I have my money oil sitting on Urzuli Dontor, Mama Dontor's altar. She helps women with business, and she helps me bring in my money. I also have a protection oil sitting on Papa Legba's, and of course, my love oil that I have made is sitting on Urzuli Freitas. So, bring this back up so you can see my face. So, we now have our oil. It's all ready to go into that sunny window. Now, the other thing we might want to do is put a label on it so you remember if you're making multiple oils at one time, You want to make sure you label it. If you do not have a sticker, put a piece of tape on it with a piece of paper, just so you know what you're doing, okay, and what you have here. You might want to put the date on it as well. So if you've got multiple batches of oil going, you know which one is going to be ready at what time, okay? So those are important things to remember. Now, how do you know which one to use? Oh, and before that, with money oil, guess what? You're going to anoint your wrists to bring the money in, okay? If it's love oil, you're going to dab it behind your ears or at the back of your neck to attract love. Protection, I like to put it on the bottoms of my shoes because where I walk, I am protected. You might even dab the third eye for protection. So, but I just want to go over some herbs and things you could choose to use for different oils. I was asked by one of my friends on Facebook, Sam, who asked, well, can I make a good luck oil? Well, I would say you could use like a blessing oil, but blessings would bring in good fortune. So that is good luck. A blessing protects in a way, but it blesses us. So it's kind of a general all-purpose oil. But if your intent is for good luck, you might, let's see, allspice is great for good luck. I have a whole list I have written out here. I do my research all the time. If I find a new herb, I go, what is it good for? What can I use it in? So for luck, I'm just going to go through this and see. I've got any kind of nut. Now, I wouldn't use nuts in the oil. I would use nuts for like gree bags for luck. But some of the other things, chamomile is great for good fortune. So that would be good luck. And of course, the allspice would be great for good luck. Let's see, what else? Rosemary would be good because it invigorates. So that could be good, and it cleanses and it's strength. And sage, of course. And sage is for all types of blessings, money, healing, fertility. So these are really great things that you could put in a luck or good fortune oil. So I just want to go over this real quick. These are some of the things that I use regularly in my oils and in my gree bags. But if you use sage, it's going to be good, like I said, for fertility, money, healing, and blessings. Rosemary, which I grow a lot of rosemary. I make it into my smudging wands, and I just use it for lots of stuff, including cooking. Rosemary is good for cleansing, strength, protection, invigorating, the oil or whatever you use, for virtue and memory, okay? Rosemary is also a really good one for remembering the dead. If you're going to go to a funeral, if you want to go to the cemetery, you might bring a sprig of rosemary for the grave, okay? Let's see, ginger is good for love. So I like ground ginger in my love gree bags. And let's see, cinnamon. Cinnamon, general, great herb. It speeds up stuff, okay? It's good for love, it's good for money, it's good for protection. It makes it go faster. Catnip. Well, besides giving it to the cats, what's it good for? It's good for happiness, love, when used with rose petals. So that's a great one. Thyme is one that I didn't write down here, but I know I like it because I found out, because I was curious, because something told me to put thyme in my love bundles of my smudging ones. And I'm like, why am I supposed to put in thyme? Well, it wasn't that I was running out of time for love. It is to attract the opposite sex or whoever you want to attract. It makes you irresistible. So, of course, use thyme for love. Now, rose petals, of course, that's for love. Now, depending on the color of the petal, if let's say you just want friendship, you might use like yellow or pink. But just remember, roses, different colors mean different things as well, okay? Basil is used for wealth, love, and fidelity. Don't want anybody to cheat, use basil, okay? Allspice for luck and money. Bay, protection for career, business success, and money. And like I said, you can use it just as an uplifting scent too, if you just want to burn it. It's awesome. Okay. Now, what else? Oats. Now, oats are dried. You could put it in an oil. I use them in my gree bags, and it's for money and protection. Cloves, which we brought out today, these wonderful smelling cloves. And cloves is for love, money, and to banish negative energies. And chamomile, of course, protection, love, good fortune, and money. Now, those are just a few herbs. There are so many herbs out there. For basil, for instance, you got sweet basil. You've got Thai basil. You've got Persian basil. And they all have a little bit different spice to them or flavor. So depending on what you want to use it for, you might use a different kind of basil even. Okay. Now, what would go into, I'm just going to give you some quick recipes. If I can find my recipes. I know I put them here. And I think I will do a video on the love infused oil because I know that's going to be a big one. Everybody's going to want to know how to attract love as well. And that one has thyme, a rose quartz, cinnamon, rose petals, basil, cloves, lavender, chamomile, and a grapeseed oil carrier. And if you want to add some essential oil, which I love this essential oil, to your love oil, you could drop in a few drops of ylang ylang. I just love it. I make another oil with, it's called Irresistible, and I use ylang ylang in it, and it's great. And it makes people hug you, and I really like that. The protection oil that I'm also going to be showing you down the road, that one's an amethyst because that helps protect the third eye and from psychic attacks, as well as physical. It has bay, cinnamon, cloves, chamomile, sage, and grapeseed oil. So these are just different ways that you can make your oils, but it's all in the intent. Like I said, today's intention was money attraction because, you know, times are tight in the winter, especially for all of us that work for ourselves and we depend on, you know, tourism here. It's important to have a little help. So that's why we made our money oil today. Now, when we are done and it's 6 to 8 weeks out and it's ready to use this oil, what are you gonna do? Well, first off, we are going to transfer it into smaller bottles so that it is usable. Now, this is a 15 milliliter bottle, comes with a lid and a little funnel type thing on the top. So it's like drops, it leaves out drops, not pouring. You're gonna need that. You're gonna need a little tiny funnel so that you don't spill it as well. Now, you could probably use a little bit bigger funnel, but that one fits in that hole just perfect. But how are you gonna get the oils out? Well, you're gonna need one of these. It's a little sieve. I just got this one. I really like it. You can rest it on the lid of something and you can hold onto the handle. You will press all of those herbs through it to get all of the oil out. If you have cheesecloth, that's going to be a bonus. Once you squeeze it through the sieve and you get that out, you can then dump the herbs into cheesecloth and squeeze it even more. So you'll get all of your oil, okay? So that's how you're going to use the oil when it's ready. And let's see, what else did I need to tell you? I think that's about it for the day. But I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Willowlemechant Divine Magic. And if you're looking for a personal reading or any spiritual service, contact me through willowlemechant.com or email me, willowlemechant@yahoo.com. Don't forget Facebook and Instagram. You can follow me there too. And until next time, be blessed.